everyone, and welcome to Radiant Love's Love Talk. My name is Angel D. Thomas, and I am the founder and CEO of Radiant Love, which was established in 2017. Radiant Love exemplifies the power of boldness, beauty, and self-confidence. I just want to encourage everyone to be the best version of themselves. Y'all be bold, y'all be beautiful, y'all be you. So, Love Talk is a platform that I created to shine light on kings and queens. Here on Love Talk, I invite different guests and we just discuss different topics. My hopes are to uplift, encourage, relate, agree to disagree. It's just a platform where I want kings and queens to let their radiant lights shine. So again, I want to encourage everyone to be the best version of themselves. Y'all be bold, y'all be beautiful, y'all be you. So tonight's guest is Robert Nolden, who is a relationship and life coach. Let's add him on now. Hey.
Hello, how y'all doing?
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I just want to thank you so much for being a guest on Love Talk. This is just an amazing experience, and we're just going to have a good time. And I must say, I am going to be married 1 year Sunday, so I had to have you on in the time of when my anniversary was coming to talk about relationships.
That's a good thing.
And love. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
So I just want to thank you again, and we're just going to jump right on in.
Let's go.
Oh, I did turn the comments off so they don't scroll in your face. So everyone, this is Robert Nolden, who is a relationship and life coach. So Robert, also known as Love Dr. Rob, is quickly becoming one of the nation's leading and most sought after life and relationship coaches. After experiencing a difficult divorce, Robert decided to turn his mess into his message. Using his own life experience as a teaching tool, he is dedicated to helping others become healthier emotionally so that they can have healthier relationships. Yes. So I just want to again say welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So before we get into relationships, I just want to talk on emotions a little bit. And according to dictionary.com, emotions is a natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. And 5 basic emotions are anger, disgust, fear, happiness, and sadness. So what events led up to you deciding to dedicate yourself to helping others become healthier emotionally?
Anger, disgust. I went through a divorce, and going through the divorce, I learned a lot about myself, and I think going through the divorce, I acted out of pain thereafter. You know what I mean? And there was a point in time where I realized that my actions weren't me. You know what I mean? I was operating in the moment, but that wasn't myself. So when I realized that, I had to step back and take a look at me overall and do a real assessment of myself. And I realized that all of what I was doing it only to prevent myself from being hurt again. And once I realized that, it kind of put me in a position where I was like, okay, now that I know what the problem is, I can address the problem and move forward and not allow the problem to control me. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. I think that there's a lot of people who don't realize just how damaged a relationship breakup can make them. You know what I mean? We pretend it's okay. Girl, I've been knew he was like that, so it don't matter. I'm just gonna go and find somebody. That's cool and all. It's cute. You know what I'm saying? Or, man, she been doing this, so I ain't worried about it. I'm just gonna find. It's cute and all. I mean, it's nice you think you can get over it like that, but the reality is that you're still going through it. You're still dealing with it. You may deal with it alone in your closet, or you may deal with it alone in your room and cry to yourself, but you're still dealing with it. And what people fail to realize is you're still dealing with it even when you're trying not to deal with it. So for me, it was that moment. Like going through that made me be like, you know what? There's something wrong with me. What is it? Why am I acting like this? And the craziest part was like when I was in limbo, if you'll call it that, and I was kind of moving around doing what I was doing. I had a cousin come to me and he was like, man, you think that's you doing this, right? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, but ain't nothing but the devil keeping you distracted. And I was like, man, me and you doing the same thing. How you gonna tell me that? Right? And you know, I'm messed up at the time, and I'm looking at the messenger bringing it to me, who's just as messed up as me, and I'm like, how you gonna tell me? Not realizing that this is somebody who is really giving me insight to where I am. So at some point, God kind of set me down and was like, look, this is what's going on. You need to fix it. You know what I mean? And at that point, I was able to become who God needed me to be to deliver this message.
And I know it wasn't easy because, like you said, we may act like it's not bothering us, but deep down inside, it is. And sometimes it affects us to where we can't love somebody else because we're hurt from that. And
say it again.
Yes.
Not easy. Look, I tell people this all the time when God was like, I was going through the process, right? And people would keep asking me for relationship advice, and I was like, listen, I don't know if you realize it or not, but I'm tore up right now. Like, I'm not sure if you want to get this from me. And people was like, nah, you give good advice on and so forth. And I was like, you tripping? Because I know where I'm at now, I'm telling you. And that night, one of those nights, I was like, okay, God, if this is really what you want from me, you have to give me a sign. And I posted something on Facebook, and people started taking on to it. And they were like, can I share this? Why don't you talk about this more often? So on and so forth. And I was like, okay, God, you know I really don't want to do this, right? Because with this comes responsibility, you know what I'm saying? So, and also I have to address my own issues.
Right.
You know, I can't, case in point, even with my wife and I right now, I can't let a situation between she and I go unaddressed because I'm no longer just a staple in my house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm speaking to other people, and I'm trying to teach other people how this is. So it comes with responsibility. Most people want the reward without the responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think had it been all reward and no responsibility, I probably would have grabbed hold of it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that just wasn't the case. But now I'm able to look at it and say, okay, everything that I went through was for my betterment. It was for me to arrive at this point and become who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And many researchers have concluded that the observed emotional differences between men and women primarily stem from socialized gender roles. So society basically said that, in my opinion, women can be emotional, but men, they have to be tough. And if you show any signs of emotion, then you're presumed to be weak or something, weak. So as a man and a relationship and life coach, in your opinion, why are men not allowed to be emotional?
Because some weak men were in position once upon a time, and they were afraid that somebody would see their vulnerability and made everybody else feel ashamed about the way they were feeling. That's my own personal input. But the reality is that is a fact. You know, we've been so caught up in what people have told us that makes us a man. You know, it's the hard guy, the strongest guy, the guy who doesn't seem to show emotion. But it's also systematic of what has been taught from slavery. Okay, remember, we were broken down, torn down in front of our women as a part of slavery. And being torn down in front of your family, you had to build up a resistance. You had to build up a thing where, okay, I'm not gonna cry. I gotta be the strongest one. Even if you look at the idea of cheating and having multiple women, well, if I was the biggest, strongest buck on the plantation, you would mate me with every other woman. So therefore, the more women I had, the greater value I had. So all of this stems from 400 years ago or 400 plus years ago. You know, that the Jim Crow slavery mindset still hinders us today. And that's where we're at with it. We continue to try to prove how strong we are. We continue to try to prove just how much man we are. And we don't realize that there is strength in being vulnerable. There's strength in being weak. And the same people who ridicule us for us for being weak or being vulnerable are the same people who have ailments and sicknesses because they're unwilling to be vulnerable or be weak. You know what I mean? So that's just how I view it, you know, and that's one of the things that I tend to focus on when I'm talking to people. If a man is never allowed to be emotional, how can I show you that I love you emotion? How can I show you I care? How can I show you I don't want you to leave even when things are at their lowest point? You know what I mean? If I've been told that if I show you that it makes me a weaker vessel, I can't do it. So that's why I believe it's so important for us to be able to be vulnerable and open.
So, speaking on that, how does being emotionally healthy create healthier relationships?
Well, medical reports and statistics show that holding in emotions will make you ill, right? Holding in anger, holding in anxiety, holding in whatever, it tears your body down, right? So even from a health standpoint, it's unhealthy.
Right.
But from an emotional standpoint, if I can't open up and connect to the person that I love, the person that I care about, how then can I really be all of what they need me to be in a relationship? These are the things that I express to men and women. Like, this is why it's important for that man to be safe enough, feel safe enough to be vulnerable with you. And that's why it's important for that man to be vulnerable, because it's in that moment that you connect, that you relate, and that you're able to be one with your partner.
And a lot of times we fear, especially men, fear being vulnerable. But we're going to get to that a little later. So, yes. So, in a relationship, we were taught that a man is supposed to provide the bacon and the women are supposed to prepare the bacon and take care of the household. And back then, women didn't have jobs. And nowadays, women do have jobs. And this lady had made a Facebook post, and she said something like, I'm sick and tired of hearing these new age women complaining about having to take care of home and they working and all that. What they need to do is shut up and do what they created to do. So I was about to comment, my thoughts, but I was like, no, because that'll start a whole debate, and I'm not here for it. Everybody has their own opinions, because in my opinion, in a relationship, you do what works for you and your partner.
Correct.
We are so, let me see, what's the word? We are so used to doing things how it's been done for so long that we think if we do it a different way that is wrong, and that's not wrong at all. It's just a different way of doing things. What works for me might not work for you, or vice versa. So what are some ways, and also, when somebody gets hurt, it's hard for them to, we talked about this earlier, when someone gets hurt, it's hard for them to move on from something. And they don't know how to love because they've been hurt, and they don't know how to deal with the hurt to love again. So what are some ways that someone who has been hurt by love could release the hurt from the past so that they can create happy memories?
First and foremost, accept responsibility. We love to blame other people for the fact that we're hurting, not realizing that we gave people permission to hurt us. As intricate as that may seem, the reality is that nobody can hurt you unless you give them a license to. Nobody just walks into your life and you develop feelings for them. No, you accepted a man, you invited a man, and then you did things, and they were signs, they were points along the way that you saw some things where you felt like, maybe I should have pulled back. Maybe I should have not done this and I should have not done that. And instead of making the right adjustments, then you were like, okay, I'm gonna give him another chance. And then you end up heartbroken. You know what I mean? So you have to accept responsibility at first. Then after accepting responsibility, you have to be honest about the fact that you've been hurt. Because nobody wants to be real about that fact. Girl, I ain't worrying about him. He did that. He gonna see. No, you see now. You know how you feel. Just be honest about it, because until you're honest about it, you can't deal with the hurt. You can't let go of something until you deal with the fact that you're holding on to it. So those two things. After that, I think trying to figure out why it is you allowed it to happen in the first place. Everybody got a type. We all have types for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our types are not good for us. So we have to understand why it is we have those types and why those types are bad for us, why we accept it, why we are drawn to them, whatever. Those are things that we need to address so we don't make those same mistakes, you know. And then you have to also allow yourself time to heal, because we'll go from relationship to relationship, hoping the next relationship heals us, not realizing that the healing takes place before you get to the next relationship. You know, so I think like a combination of those things are all combined can help you get to where you need to be for a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But if you never address those things, there's not a possibility for you to be healthy beyond that.
So we have to first admit that we have, I guess, a
Responsibility.
problem.
You gotta accept your
Yes.
responsibility. You know what? I have a friend of mine, right? And for whatever reason, he's attracted to women who are aggressive, right? For whatever reason. Now these women look at him and go, well, he's too nice of a guy. And he's in the mindset like, I want to show her that she deserves better.
Mm-hmm.
But she don't like better. She like the aggressive dude who gonna come in, curse her out, push her around, whatever. You're attracted to that, but that's not what's gonna be attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta realize that. So now you have to figure out why you're attracted to that particular woman. But when you're going like, well, she doesn't like me, and that's why, you know, I feel so, okay, she don't like you. Why do you like her? She's not hurting you. You're allowing her to hurt you because you've decided she's your type. That's your responsibility. Pick a woman who's not going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? She's of an aggressive nature. Of course, at some point, she may hurt you. Pick somebody better. Choose better, choose wisely. And most of us don't want the responsibility of having to choose what's good for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, we think it's somebody else's. When I pick them, they should never make a mistake because I picked them. No.
Mm-mm.
If you pick somebody's broken, expect them to break you.
And don't.
You know what? That's gonna be a post tonight.
Yeah.
I gotta write that one down.
And I also saw a post that you posted about don't just settle, because a lot of times we just settle thinking that it's gonna get better. No, do not settle.
You know what? I don't think we realize that we're settling most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. I think a lot of the times we get into a situation where we go, okay, that's just who they are, so it's going to be There's a difference between accepting a person for who they are and settling for less. If you know what you deserve and this person is not living up to what you deserve, you're settling. Now, if you find somebody and they check off all the right boxes in most areas, but they got one or two flaws, it's compromise. You understand what I'm saying? That at that point, you're like, okay, listen, 90% is great.
Mm-hmm.
80, 90%, I could deal with that. Because I'm getting at least most of what I deserve, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get 10% of what you deserve and you're going, well, I'm going to take that because they don't have that many good men out there. Now you're settling. You know, I know what I dealt with before. At least he better than. Come on, what are you doing? You got to do better. There are a lot of women right now who are in relationships with roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's all he gonna ever be to you is your roommate. He move like a roommate. He act like a roommate. He pay half the bills. He buys some of the groceries. He sleep there half the time. You know what I mean? But in reality, he got a whole nother life taking place outside of that. You settling. And you telling your girl, because you know all of them doing, your friend got a good man, and she talking about him, you just don't know what he doing. I know what mine doing. Okay. You live in your mess. I ain't even mad with you, love. Do your thing.
So yes, we can't settle. Do not settle, ladies, or even men, because men settle too. Men do settle too. It's not just a woman thing. It's a both-sided thing.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
And men don't settle. Yes.
and see, men settle on a whole different note, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like men settle, and I think a lot of times men don't even realize that they're settling,
mm-hmm.
because they come in with so much baggage that when they settle, they've already beaten themselves down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, you know, I cheated before, and I didn't do this, or maybe I'm not making enough money, or maybe I don't have all of what she's looking for. So I'm not gonna look for the woman I think I deserve. I'm gonna look for the woman that I think can deal with me where I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I tell dudes all the time, a lot of times you don't have all of what you want because you don't have the woman that will propel you to that point. You know, sometimes the only difference between you being the man you are and you being the man you want to be is the woman who's going to be like, you know what? Let me help you elevate to where you got to go. You know, sometimes one of the things that I think about superheroes that's really, really cool is this, that sometimes a superhero could be in a predicament where no matter what kind of powers he has, no matter what his strengths are, whatever, he needs another superhero to get him through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is in a relationship. A lot of times, no matter how strong you are, you need somebody else to come and push you through. If you don't have a strong man or a strong woman who can come through and be like, look, let me put you on this level, let me put you in this predicament, you can't make it to where you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you can't settle. And for men, we're so afraid of being emasculated that us finding a strong woman is like a oxymoron. I can't have her be too strong because no, you need her to be strong because on your weekdays you need her to step in there and do what you need her to do. You there. So those are all things that plague us, and I'm not sure if it affects white America the same way, or Asian Americans or whatever. Because I'm not one of them, but I know when I'm dealing with my sisters or when I'm dealing with my brothers, and we talking about black people, these are things that we face on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to tell people that being able to open up and share who you are and be honest about it, your strengths and your weaknesses makes you a better person.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gives the person you're with an opportunity to love you for who you are.
And I was gonna say, where I'm weak, you're strong, and where you're weak, I'm strong. It's a balance out. So we all need that in our relationships. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that is the exact reason that opposites attract.
Yes.
That's why they're supposed to attract, because your strengths should be able to play to my weaknesses and vice versa. You know, and I don't think enough people realize that. But again, we have been taught so much misinformation that we don't know how to operate.
And that leads into my next question. I kind of jumped the gun a little earlier about the bacon, but like I said earlier, the men, we were taught that the men provides the bacon, and the women, we make the bacon and we take care of the households and all of that. And when we had our phone conversation, we talked about and we agreed on that we need to unlearn a lot of things. So when it comes to societal relationship rules, what are some things in your opinion that needs to be unlearned?
Everything. Point blank, period. Like, we've been taught all of the wrong stuff. Like, I don't think that we've been given enough information about what's right and the proper and appropriate way to do things. Most of our information about relationships have been taught about failed relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I think we learn more of what not to do again than what to do. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of times you have to look at what's real.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be willing to start all over. I think in each relationship you have to start fresh. You have
Mm-hmm.
to wipe the slate clean. Whatever your expectations are, whatever, like, you got to wipe that clean because every person is different.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with having your standards and knowing what you deserve, knowing what you want, but knowing that you may not be able to get it from this person. Like, everybody has a different ability in the way that they transfer how they feel or translate what their emotions are.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, you have to know, like, I can't go in thinking that what I thought was right with this person is going to be exactly right with this person. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Um, I, I'm gonna use my grandmother and my grandfather for example. I would walk into my grandmother's house and my grandmother had this thing. She was complaining about everything. Great woman, but she complained. So Isaac come in here with them old muddy shoes and track up my house and this, that, and the other and whatever. And then he's smoking them old cigars and blah, blah, blah. So I walk in the room, my grandfather's sitting in the room, he had a little chair in the corner. And I'm like, how you doing, Grandpa? And he was like, well, and listening to that woman fuss again. And I said, well, what's she fussing about now? He said, everything. He said, listen at her. She fussing about them cigars, and she don't know I ain't smoked a cigar in 3 weeks. But she had grown so accustomed to fussing about the cigars that she hadn't even realized that the man had stopped smoking. So I was like, why do you put up with that? And that boy said, because deep down, I know that outside of all her complaining, she got a heart of gold. That spoke volumes to me. What it said to me is this, that there'll be days where somebody might do something that you don't like. Mm-hmm. There'll be days that somebody will do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or whatever, but you have to see through what they're doing to see who they are. For us, we see the surface. Mm-hmm. We see your actions. We see this, and this, and we don't think about your heart, because guess what? Somebody you meet today may have been so damaged that it'll take them a little while to get to where you're going. Now, don't misinterpret, because I have to say this, and this is a disclaimer. If you got somebody who is verbally abusive, physically abusive, mentally abusive, get out their way. Point blank, period. All right? But there's some people that you will meet that in the beginning, you'll be like, I'm not sure about this person. Mm-hmm. And that person's actions are only because they're not sure about you. Now, down the line, that person may be like, okay, you know what? I didn't trust this person enough, but now I know I can trust them with everything. And you'll see a total 180, and they'll be going in a whole different direction. You're like, oh, okay, mm-hmm. That's the one I was looking for in the first place. Most of us get tired before we get to that point.
Right.
But that's because of a lack of communication. That's because we don't have those moments and times where we sit down and say, hey, listen, what exactly is it you're going through? What exactly is it you're dealing with that has afforded you the mindset that makes you operate like you operate? You don't see I'm right here doing everything I can to prove to you that I'm that person. See, we don't do that. We get mad, see, because you'd rather be with this one. And nah, I'm going to explain to you where I'm at. I'm going to explain to you how I'm feeling, what I'm dealing with, what I'm going through. And at that moment, I'm going to give you an opportunity to make a sound decision on whether or not you want to be here with me.
Mm-hmm. And that goes into communication and being vulnerable with each other to open up to really get to the core of what it is. So you actually wrote a book called He Can't Love You. And the book is an intellectual look at the issues that men endure that prevents them from being the men they need to be. The book gives insight from several different perspectives. The overall goal is to equip women with the information necessary to either choose better men or help the men they have chosen to become better.
Say that again.
When I read that, I'm like, hold up. So as a woman, I'm like, so what you mean preventing men to love us how they're supposed to love us? So I'm going to ask you the question. What are some issues that men endure that prevents them from being the man that they need to be?
Okay, again, let me backtrack. Let's go back to where we started at, right? So if a man is taught not to show emotions, how can I show you I love you?
Right.
Case, what woman do you know doesn't want to be shown love?
We all do.
Okay, but if I was taught not to show you my emotions, how can I show you that?
Now we're fighting with you.
That's number one. You know what? If a man leaves his children, that's just what men do. Is that true? A real man who's attached to his children doesn't just walk away. But if you keep putting that on me, what am I going to do but walk away?
Mm-hmm. And think that it's okay.
Like these are the things that we've been taught. Baby, if he go out here and cheat, he's just a man being a man. What man doesn't want to be a man? So when he's sitting amongst his peers and they saying, boy, it's just you and your wife, boy, you serious? I listened to a woman tell another young lady, an older woman told a young lady, she said, baby, don't worry about him. Because one thing I know is a poor rat with one hole to crawl in. If he a man, he going to have more than one woman. That was a woman talking to a young woman. You understand? Now, I tell people this all the time. The same misinformation men have been given, women have been given too. Right? So when things are going awry, you have to know that there's a lot that has taken place that both of us or all of us have been given that was false. So all of these things keep us from being the man we say. I can't open up to my wife. Why? Because, and I'm not saying me in general, because my wife said on our first date, I told her so much stuff she didn't know if there was gonna be a second date. That's neither here nor there. Real talk. I'm like, look, let me let you know I did this. She's like, you serious? But anyway, I said all that to say, like, we get into a place where we're not open with the people that we need to be open with, because I don't want her to think I'm less than a man. I don't want to be a different version of what she thinks a man is. So now I'm going to come in, I'm going to talk about the other stuff I'm doing. I'm going to talk about everything but how I feel, how I love you, what I'm going through. You understand? And that's what people fail to realize. Like, all these things plague us. All these things hinder us from being what we need to be. And being in a position where we can turn that off and operate accordingly, it speaks volumes. You know, but again, it's hard turning off what I've been taught forever. You're a little boy, you're not supposed to cry. Man, nobody want to hear you. You're a man, you talking about how you feel. Nobody don't care how you feel. You right. You right. So if I turn around, I'm talking to a young lady and I'm talking about how I feel, and you need to man up. You ain't no man. Men don't do. What am I do? What am I going to do thereafter? But shut down on you. Become somebody completely different. Or become somebody completely shut off. It's not where you want us to be. But this is what we do as men, and this is what we endure.
So how can we break that? Not like help break that or move in a different direction. What are some steps to take?
The truth is that men test you all the time, right? A man will give you a little bit of information just to see if it's going to come back in an argument, come back home mad day, right? He needs to know that he can be safe enough to tell you everything and not be violated somewhere down the line. That is a difficult task for most men. So I think that if we open the lines of communication and are open and honest, right? Okay, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going through. And as the woman, you're sitting back on the back end going, hey, you know what? I can accept that. You know what? It's okay for you to feel like that here with me, because I'm going to be here for you. That's the open door. And then we sit down and we're honest about what it is he can provide and what he can bring to the table. I think a lot of times when we talk about provisions of what a man's able to provide, we stay stuck on the financial aspect. But there's an emotional aspect too. There's a nurturing aspect. There's a caring aspect. I think women get to think, because see, women are just natural nurturers. You ever saw a real man with his child? And I don't mean a man with a child, a real man with his child. You see a nurturing character trait come out of him and be like, that is so attractive. You know what I mean? But some men are afraid to get there. I'm sitting up here the other day combing my 2-year-old's hair. I did a pretty good job. I've been coming here for a long time. I love this. You know what I mean? I bond. I like that. A lot of men don't have an opportunity to do that for fear of how people see. Where you going? Give me a hug before you go. Come here. Give me a hug before she go. Let her hug me.
That's your 2-year-old?
Yeah, going out the door. Come on, come give me a hug. Hold on, wait. Yo, say hey to the camera.
Hey, beautiful.
Let me kiss beautiful.
Oh.
See you later. See you later.
It's too cute.
Bye-bye. This is what I deal with. Say she runs my house. What can I say? But anyway, these are all things that we deal with. And I think the way to really curb it is we have to know what we deserve. Again, I think women have to know that they deserve a man who can provide that quality,
Yes.
At the same time, as men, we have to know that we deserve a woman who can accept a man who can carry that kind of quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that they do exist, because we hear more horror stories about relationships than we hear those great stories, or those stories of success or whatever. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's funny. I listened to somebody talking. It was like, you know, over 50% of all marriages fail. You know, that also means that 50% of marriages survive. So we're gonna just hinge on the negative side of it. Come on, man. You gotta do better.
We have to.
You gotta do better. And um the 50-50 club, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's talking about what people need to know about marriages. Because nobody was married with a rule book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you get married, it's like being a parent. You get thrusted into the position one day, and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even in being a parent, you got somebody, girl, you know, you shouldn't do that with the baby. Or, you know, you gotta, when you have a baby, you gotta do this, this, and this. And now, relationship and marriage advice, like, girl, you know, if it don't work, you can always find you another one. Girl, you know, you go down there to the court, they're gonna let you out. This is not relationship advice. This is not marital advice. You're not helping me get to where I need to be. So,
Yes.
um, I think that, again, we just have to know what we deserve. That God will give you what you deserve if you believe that it exists, and if
Mm-hmm.
you're pursuing in it. You know.
Yes. And that a lot of what we're talking about is vulnerability. And in my opinion, being vulnerable holds a lot of us back, especially men. And for anyone who doesn't know, being vulnerable in a relationship means allowing your partner to know you fully, your thoughts, your feelings, your challenges, your weaknesses. And it can be scary to show those sides to our partner out of fear of being judged, like you said, or used on a different day, on Mad Day or something. And when you're able to be vulnerable, that's when true intimacy is achieved. And that's when we are known, accepted, supported, and loved. So with your experience with counseling and in life in general, what are some reasons people, especially men, fear being vulnerable? You kind of answered that already, but what are some reasons?
Yeah, because one, it definitely goes against everything that we've taught makes us men.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Two, we never want to be viewed in a less than light in front of the people that we truly love. Um, and outside of that, I think that whether people realize it or not, men have a lot more. Um, I want to say they have a lot more insecurities than people realize. Um, I think that we spend so much of our time trying to live up to the idea of being men that we're
Mm-hmm.
always afraid that at some point we're not going to. So now we're always on edge. We're always wondering, like, at what point we're not going to be that person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that keep us from actually ever achieving what we need to achieve as far as relationships.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some ways anyone can start knocking down those walls so that we can love and be loved how we're supposed to be?
Man, be honest with yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Like, I think, like, one of the things with me, even like after being after being, you know, going through the divorce and kind of doing all of what I was doing at that moment, my true me was I wanted to be in a relationship. I'm a relationship type of guy. So I had to be honest with myself. You know what? Though this is taking place, this is not who I am. This is not what I enjoy. I enjoy the relationship. So let me accept that side of me first, right? And then from there, be real about what things I wear my feelings on my sleeve. I can tell
Mm-hmm.
you that. Some things that the average dude might be like, no, what, I ain't worrying about that because he don't want you to know he worrying about it. I'm gonna tell you that wasn't comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So accepting your truth makes it arms you for whatever war you're about to face. Once I accept my truth, if you can't give me what I need, it's cool. I can move on. If I accept my truth, it's cool if you can't accept me for who I am. It's cool if you can't accept my truth and I gotta get out your way because I don't have to change me to make you feel better about you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things, another one of the things that people fail to realize, that at the end of the day, me being me is about me. When I get into a relationship, I want somebody who's going to love me for me. Yes, I should look at you and go, you know what? There's something so valuable in you that I want to change things about myself. But you should not be at a point where you go, you got to change this if you want to be with me. You got to change that. You got to change. No, it's not how that's not supposed to work. You know what I mean? And I think, again, once you find that security in self, everything else falls into place. Nobody can shame you. Nobody can emasculate you. Like, what you gonna tell me? Oh, that's why you sensitive. I know that. I told you that first. And what? Now what? You know what I'm saying? You wear your feelings on your sleeve. Sure do. Now what? And, you know, like, once you get to your reality, nobody can use your reality against you. It's like Eminem and 8 Mile. I tell you everything that's already wrong with me. And then when you get ready to say it back, you're looking like.
That's my favorite part of that movie.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, that's how life is. Accept your reality and nobody can use it against you.
Yes, and that's what my philosophy is. So my philosophy is be bold, be beautiful, be you. And I encourage that to everybody, and I have it written everywhere, and I live by that. So what is a philosophy that you live on and stand by?
Again, at the end of the day, to be honest with you, my biggest philosophy is this. Know your worth and know how to get away from people that don't know it. There's nothing greater than that. Know your worth and get away from people that don't know it. Because if you spend too much time around anybody who doesn't know what your worth is, they will devalue you. They will have you at a point where you are questioning yourself, well, am I really worth all this? Yeah. They just don't know it. Get out their way. Allow them to go back to what they're accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it at the end of the day. But I think if I had to say anything to anybody, I want people to understand this. True love does exist. The average person who can't find true love has never found a love for themselves. You know, you're so busy looking for somebody outside of you to love you that you don't realize that the only way to get the love outwardly is to have it inwardly, right? When you love yourself, people are gravitating to you, and they're gravitating to you like, I just need to love you. I don't know why. It's just you ever heard somebody tell you that? I don't know what, it's just something about you, girl.
Yes.
Because you're wearing your value on you. They see it when they're looking. I tell people I work in a barbershop, and when I'm in a barbershop, sometimes a woman will come in and the conversation will change abruptly. Right? Just off the way she carries herself coming in the door. There are other times where somebody will come in and be like, oh, who's down? And the same conversation continues. There was something about her that says, you don't have to respect me.
And she didn't even open her mouth.
Without even opening her mouth. So you know that you can dictate how people view you. Right? So with that being said, you have to know, like, sometimes you got to get away from the people that don't know what you worth. You got to get away, because you'll get confused and start asking, well, if I'm with them and they don't think I'm worth it, but I think they're worth it, then maybe they're right. The devil is a lie. The devil is, I'm bringing you to church with me on Sunday morning. Yes. So God can tell you the devil, you the liar. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to go with it.
And you have to always, y'all, know your worth. No matter what, you have to know your worth. And self-love is the best love. I always preach that too. You cannot love someone else until you love yourself. Well, you can try. It's not going to work. Like you said, you have to love yourself first.
I think a lot of people are looking for happiness, not realizing that you can only be happy within yourself. It can't come from anybody else. It got to come from you. You know, so again, these are all things that we deal with, but nobody, like, we're not sitting down talking about this. We're not sitting down having these conversations. And somebody asked me why I do the events I do, and why do I do all of the things I do, and it's because I feel like if we're all having an open forum and we're all honest and we're all talking, at the end of the day, what'll happen is everybody will walk away feeling like they got some kind of support. You know what? It's not just me. Everybody else is going through it too. That's where I'm at with it. we got to be real about these conversations. I'm real enough to tell my partner, say, dog, like, you know, boy, look, I ain't really feeling all that hot today. I got to be real about where I'm at and who I am.
And
If we can all get to that point, especially with our mates,
we'll be
we're
good.
gonna always win.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
So speaking of the events and everything that you do, how could someone get in contact with you if they want to use your services or to know about upcoming events?
Okay. You can catch me on Instagram, of course, at love_dr_Rob. You can also catch me on Facebook under Robert Nolden, Nolden. And on Facebook, I also have the Love Dr. Rob page, and I have Envision Life Coaching page as well. So all those avenues, and if you follow me on Instagram, there's a link in my bio that lets you know about the upcoming events, counseling sessions, the book, whatever. You know, all of those things are available on there. So that's the way you do it. As far as the events they're different. You know what I mean? They're energetic, they're comical, but they're real. You know what I mean? And because I'm an open book, I put everything out there. You know, I'm actually like now, I think I'm just now learning to kind of filter out some of the things, because sometimes my wife be like, well, I wish you wouldn't have said that, but you know, for the most part, she's good with it, because you know I'm only gonna be open enough to help somebody, so it's cool. But if you ever get a chance to hear me speak, or if you catch me on a radio show or whatever, I'm honest, you know what I mean? And I think being at a point where I've gone through some of the things I've gone through helped that. You know, and like I said, just accepting my truth.
You
So
have to. Yes.
that's my thing.
So at this point in time, I just want to open up the floor to you to say whatever is on your heart.
I thought I said everything. Now, you know what though? Like for real though, if I had to say anything right now, believe that love exists. You know, believe that it's out there for you, and believe that the love you deserve will one day be yours. I think that, you know, so much happens, and we have so many heartbreaks and so many different disappointments that eventually we get tired, we get beaten down, and then it's like, okay, well, anybody come along and just gonna accept them. Please don't do that to yourself. You deserve way better than that. You deserve so much more. At the end of the day, what is for you is out there, but you have to believe it. So I don't think that there's anything else that I can tell you outside of that will make a difference in your life at that moment, at this moment anyway. Um, I'm working on this thing right now, and it's crazy because I'm probably not even gonna film it till Monday. I think the film date is like Monday or Tuesday. But anyway, and it's talking about outbreaks, right? And generally when we talk about outbreaks, we're talking about disease outbreaks and things of that nature. But emotionally, they're outbreaks. You know, emotionally, we go through heartbreaks, and those heartbreaks end up hurting so many other people that had nothing to do with our initial heartbreaks. And before you know it, everybody's walking around contaminated, and everybody's pretending that they're not contaminated, right? Again, you have to do a self-assessment. You got to look at yourself and be like, you know what, today I'm sick. I got to close myself off from everybody else and work on me, get me back to my health, and then now I have to be conscious enough to interact with people who have made the same choice to get themselves healthy. That's where you have to be. But when you get to that point, you got to know, like, yeah, they're going to have a bunch of messed up people, but they got somebody that is strategically placed on this earth for you and your happiness. Go get them and hold on to them when you find them.
So don't settle, and do not settle, y'all. Do not settle for anything, because like he said, someone is out there, strategically out there for you. Also, know your worth. Also, know that you have to love you before you can love anyone else. And that even is for just like mothers. You have to love and take care of yourself before you can love and take care of your child. For fathers, it's just a relationship standpoint. Take care and love yourself first. Also, y'all make sure that y'all check out his book, which is available on Amazon. Just click the link in his bio. All of that will be on my page. Just click the link on his bio. And I can't wait to read the book, to get the different perspectives and everything on the book. I'm really excited. Can't wait to get it. And I really do want to hear you speak in person. And whenever you have something coming up, I'll be checking your page because I would love to be in a team.
Look, the next event is October 19th. It's called Gone But Not Forgotten, How to Break Up With Your Past. That's going to be different. I promise you. Everything that I have visually for it is on a different page. And outside of that, I just say, like I said, as far as me speaking and me doing what I do, I do it on a regular basis on Facebook and Instagram. I like to do it more, but sometimes I get caught up. But I said all that to say this. At the end of the day, life was gonna deal with you. It's all about how you deal with it back. You know, and again, I think that as men, we fail women, but we were being failed as well. We were being failed from the men who were teaching us, right? So instead of us taking this journey, this wayward journey into where we're going right now, if you look at the younger generation and you look at what people are doing as far as relationships and this, that, and the other, the way they're going to be a whole bunch of single people walking around as individuals, which is not what was meant for us. So again, at the end of the day, just wait on your mate. That's all. You know, that's it.
Definitely. So again, I just want to thank you for being a guest. Like I said, I can't wait to read the book. Can't wait to attend one of your events. And it's up from there because what you're speaking on needs to be spoken about more. So I'm glad that you were on my platform to even, that we're even talking about it because we're on the right path and heading in the right direction.
Most definitely. I love having a platform to speak.
Definitely. So again, thank you so much. Thank y'all for the guests for tuning in. And y'all check out everything that I told y'all to check out. And y'all have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.